I don't want to keep you waiting too much, so I'm gonna get right to the point and tell you what the trick is. The trick we're gonna be explaining and doing today is the one where we use compression to push the front end of the amp to get more gain. I saw Andy talk about this in one of his rig rundown videos. Now, just briefly, if you don't know who Andy Timmons is, you can just leave this channel now. Andy uses two types of amps, and they are both Mesa Boogie. One is the Mesa Boogie Lone Star, and one is the Mesa Boogie Stiletto. We don't have the Stiletto in the Pod Go, but we do have the Lone Star. And the Mesa Boogie Lone Star in the Pod Go is called Cali, Texas. There are also two channels, channel 1 and channel 2. One is of course the clean channel, and the other one is the drive or the dirt channel. Now, in that particular video, Andy uses two Lone Stars, and he has them in a stereo kinda rig. I've also tried copying some of the settings that I saw Andy uses on his clean channel of the Mesa Lone Star. Now, what I also know is that Andy uses a 2x12 Mesa cabinet with a close back, and I have something similar here. It's an impulse response by the company called York Audio, and what I also saw from the video is that the cabinet was mic'd with a Shure 58 dynamic microphone, so that's what we're using here. Now to the delay, we're again just copying Andy's gear. He uses a Electro-Harmonix Memory Man. We have that in the Pod Go, it's called the Elephant Man, and we're kinda copying his settings as well. The note sync on the Elephant Man is set to a quarter note, but the scale control is set to 75%, which means that you get a stereo type of delay, and you have a quarter note and a date note in the repeats. Finally, Andy has a preference towards spring reverbs, who doesn't, so I'm using the 63 spring reverb here. Now let's check out Snapshot number 1. Okay, now let's check out Snapshot number 2. Okay, now let's check out Snapshot number 3. Okay, I think you got the idea. We got one patch, but three snapshots that are really different. I'm gonna quickly explain what happens here between snapshots 1, 2 and 3. The first snapshot, as you can see, it has the drive set to 3.5 and the channel volume is set at 9.2. Now, when we switch to snapshot 2, as you can see, the channel volume drops down to 5.3. Now, the reason why the channel volume is brought down so much is because I've added a compressor in snapshot number 2. It is the deluxe comp, and I'm adding 28 dB of pure gain into the front end of the amp. And that's why we transfer from a really clean tone that was played on position number 4 on my Strat to that mid-rangey, saturated Andy Timmons type of Stratty tone. I don't have the same pickups as he does, but it's kinda there, I hope. Now for the final snapshot, the one where there's the most gain, there's another change that happens. Drive on snapshot 2 is at 3.5, and when we switch to snapshot number 3, it goes all the way up to 6.8, and the channel volume is brought down just a bit. So quickly, snapshots 1, 2 and 3. Now the compression that I'm using is pretty heavy-handed. The threshold is set to minus 43 dB, which is, I think, catching quite a lot of the signal that is coming from my guitar. We have a 10:1 ratio, which is also quite heavy. The attack is quite fast, the release is medium. We have the mix all the way up to 100%, but the main thing, as I said before, is the plus 28 dB of gain that we're pushing into the front end of the Lone Star. So that's it. Next time when you try to create a patch, try to use compression and just boosting the front end with something instead of a distortion block. This amp in particular, the Mesa Lone Star, is quite capable of producing really crispy clean tones and saturated lead tones, which is kinda Andy Timmons' thing, and whatever is his thing, it's my thing, and this is weird, and bye all.